In my experience and a lot of other people's experience, there is more help before you get diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Okay guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. So as you have seen by the heading of this video, we are going to be talking about medications for fibromyalgia. Okay, so quick disclaimer, I don't know why I have to put this in here. I ain't a doctor, I ain't a healthcare professional. I just have fibromyalgia. I speak about my own experience. I also have a TikTok channel that has around 65,000 followers on it. I don't like to call them followers, but a community where we all exchange information about what we've been through and our journeys in regards to having fibromyalgia. Okay, so you have just been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. What is the next step? Okay, so first off, people think that when you get diagnosed with fibromyalgia, that's it, you've got the answer. You've got a diagnosis, you're going to get helped, you're going to get cured, you're going to get fixed. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that is just not the case. In my experience and a lot of other people's experience, there is more help before you get diagnosed with fibromyalgia, before you get a diagnosis. And I don't know if the reason because of that is because of the new NICE guidelines. I suspect the majority of it is because of that. But I also believe that it's because the healthcare professionals do not know how to deal with a diagnosis of fibromyalgia. So they don't know what medicines to give us, because fibromyalgia is so complex. There is so many symptoms that how can 1, 2, or 3, or even 4, 5 tablets heal or cure our symptoms? What I mean by that is, if you have pain, you will be given a medication for pain. Generally, not talking about fibromyalgia, you'll be given a medication for pain. Generally, you will be given a medication for pain. If you can't sleep at night, you will be given a sleeping aid, a sleeping pill, a sleeping tablet, which will help you sleeping. If you suffer from itchy skin, you will be given some kind of cream, some dermatological cream, something along them lines, tropical cream that will help you with your skin itching. If you have muscle twitches, you will be given, etc. Guys, you know what I mean. Because there are over 250 symptoms with fibromyalgia, it is hard for us to get a single tablet or multiple tablets that can help us with all of our symptoms. I know it's going off track a little bit, but this is why it is so difficult to treat it. And I also believe that, well, in my experience, I have not found any medication that helps me with my pain. I found things that help me with other symptoms, which I've come to realize that is just a massive win for me. Such as CBD oil. It helps me with my anxiety. It helps me with my sleep pattern. It helps me with multiple other things. But in regards to pain, I haven't found anything that's stopped the pain, because we all know there is no cure for it at the moment. Fingers crossed we will find one. So you have just been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. In my case, I got a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, and I was told to go and check what fibromyalgia is on the internet, and that was really the end of my experience with dealing with the doctors. Prior to my diagnosis, I was given a bunch of medication. So before there was an actual diagnosis written on my medical file, I was trialed on loads and loads of different medications. So I will name a few. I was trialed on amitriptyline, gabapentin, pregabalin, cocodamol, and these all do different things. And what had happened is that I was going to the doctors for a 7-year period before I got my diagnosis, presenting them with loads of symptoms, and the doctor would say, okay, we want to try you on this. So they would try me on a gabapentin. Gabapentin is, I believe, a nerve tablet, and a lot of people that get diagnosed with fibromyalgia, even though I didn't have a diagnosis, get put on gabapentin. Same as pregabalin and amitriptyline. They all do different things. So prior to my diagnosis, I was trialed on these things. None of these things worked for me. as soon as I was diagnosed, they wanted to stop all medication. So no medication was spoken about. I was the one who raised my concerns on this and said, I need, now I've got a diagnosis, I need some kind of medication to help me deal with my daily pains. The pain is the main thing for me. So my daily pain. What can you do for me? And they said, if in so many words, there is nothing we can do for you in regards to medication. They didn't even want to talk about medications that I've tried before, up in the dose or anything like that. That was just it. And I think the system is broken here, because there are people that find joy, they find some alleviation on some kind of symptoms with certain medications, and there are some people that don't. We all deal with it in a different way. Our fibromyalgia is different. Our journeys are different completely. Speaking on some of the medications that they tried me on prior to my diagnosis, like I say, I've never been given any medication post diagnosis. Is I've been tried on gabapentin, and I believe that is a nerve stimulant or a nerve medication. Didn't work for me, has worked for some. I have been tried on pregabalin, and I believe pregabalin is used for people with epilepsy, I believe, and nerves. Gabapentin, I believe, is for nerve and anxiety. Amitriptyline. So amitriptyline is originally, or was originally, known for people suffering with depression and anxiety. So a lot of people in the fibromyalgia community have a problem being given this, because we have that stigma of it being a mental health issue and not a physical issue. When we are given amitriptyline, I think it kind of ignites something in us. We're just getting fobbed off. They just think that it's something to do with our mind, and but some people have found some joy with amitriptyline. So what I would take from that is if your doctor is willing to try you on something, speak with them and give it a go. Always consult your doctor. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. This is just what I've been through. So in regards to my experience and why I believe that I have never been given any medications. So my diagnosis came just through the lockdown, and through the lockdown there was a corporation, I believe they're a corporation called NICE. So it's an abbreviation. It's the National Institute of something or other. It's gone brain fog. It's the people who all of the there are guidelines, basically. There are guidelines for the NHS. So they write up guidelines every year or every so often, and they done a guideline on a chronic pain of people suffering with chronic pain, and they stated that basically no medication should be given, and people on medication should be weaned off of medication or something along those lines, and instead they should be told to focus on fitness and health, mindfulness, I believe acceptance, and these are all things I have learned to embrace. These are all things I've learned to embrace and have helped me along my journey. But the way that it is put by the NHS and the guidelines is wrong. Also, the reason I believe this is wrong is because some people find joy in medication, and I don't mean joy as in they're happy to have medication. I mean they've found that some of that medication has worked for them. So if I believe a medication is working for someone, I don't believe it should be taken away from that person. I understand, obviously, from the opposite end of the spectrum, where the government and where NICE guidelines and NHS don't want people becoming addicted to certain medications, which I understand. Of course, I understand, but it just needs to be put across in a different way. So that was my experience. My experience was as soon as I was diagnosed, I was given a piece of paper and told to go online and search what fibromyalgia is and how I can help myself. So those are the medications that I was given prior, but I believe some people have been given those post diagnosis of fibromyalgia. let me know, guys, if you have been given any of these medications. Let me know if any of these medications have helped for you, and also let me know if the NICE guidelines, so things that have helped me now because I've took a different approach to them, like fitness, mindfulness, anything that's helped you. Let me know in the comments below. Guys, I hope you're having a great Sunday, a great day, and I hope your fibro flare-ups are at bay.